Welcome back. You're still watching NTV Weekend Edition with me, Sandra Twinobdio. On Talk of the Nation tonight, we speak about the Electoral Commission that has come under attack for, first of it all, failing to take charge of the ongoing campaigns and also being accused of being reluctant in providing public information concerning elections, its procurement processes and political parties, among others. So this evening, we talked to the Executive Director of Africa Freedom of Information Center, Mr. Gilbert Sendugwa, for more on this matter. Welcome to Talk of the Nation tonight.
Thank you very much, Sandra, and good evening, viewers.
Well, first and foremost, talking about the report that you recently produced accusing the Electoral Commission for not being open in disseminating information to the public. We want to hear more on that, and later on we'll dive into other issues that voters have at the moment.
Thank you very much. Yes, we recently did a report which was analyzing Uganda's legal framework in as far as disclosure of public information as it relates to elections, and also the practices. And we did this against the African Union guidelines on elections and access to information. One of the things that we found was that the legal framework needs to be strengthened. For example, the guidelines require that the appointment of commissioners of the Electoral Commission should be open and public and should allow citizens to scrutinize the nominees and provide feedback. Now, the law does not provide for that in Uganda. Nobody knows, how the president comes to a decision or the integrity of those who are being nominated. The second gap that we have found in this assessment is that the guidelines provide for proactive disclosure so that people can have the information they need in order to make informed choice. Now, we found this lacking both in law and practice. In law, under the Access to Information Act, it says that, certain information be proactively disclosed every 2 years. And then in the Elections Act, it says that the register should be, published so that people examine it, for a certain period. So the standard is not met in terms of, making it very regular, making it available all the time in public places where people can access this record and use it. Electoral Commission is entrusted with a very big responsibility of organizing free, fair, transparent elections. Now, that is a very high standard, and therefore, trust is very, very important. And to have trust, information has to be disclosed, not just on the register and electoral processes, but people must have sufficient information on what the Commission does backdoor. They should have information, for example, by now, the process through which the Commission has gone through to procure, printing of ballot papers, supply of ballot boxes, procurement and deployment of technology to transmit results from, polling stations to tallying centers and the National Tally Center. Now, the previous observer mission reports have, and also what people say on the street, raise the issue of trust. You hear sometimes people say, results were switched, results were inflated, those kinds of things. So the Commission should reflect on this and then come up with a proactive disclosure measure that is going to allow for people to have this information and regain trust in this process.
Well, Mr.
The current
Gilbert
Commission,
Sendugwa,
I should say, we have had a number of engagements with them. I think they are far better than the previous Commission. And we have discussed these issues. And we have also shared with them this African Union guideline. And I believe, together with the findings of our report, I believe that they are going to do something about it, these issues.
But you know the Electoral Commission came forward to disagree with most of the things you indicated in this report, insisting that it has been very open to, first of it was scrutiny from the Auditor General, that is accounts plus expenditure, which are some of the issues that you point out, as well as in releasing the entire voters register. I'm sure you saw that report when they're responding to some of your concerns.
Yes, I see that, and indeed, yes, the Commission said that you know, their transactions and operations and expenses are subject to, you know, the work of the Auditor General, and but you know, all of us who have seen reports of the Auditor General, we are not, what we are saying is not different from what the Auditor General has been saying consistently, that there are issues, you know, in the way business is conducted, and expenses of the Commission and other agencies. But what we are saying actually is beyond this, you know, accountability or oversight by public oversight agencies like the Auditor General. We are talking about being transparent and accountable to the population. So the Commission should be, in addition, you know, to do what they are doing with the Auditor General, make sure that this information is accessible by the public. One of the issues that our report finds is that when it comes to public procurement, the Commission has disclosed so little, less than 7% of what they ought to disclose in terms of procurements that they have made in the last 5 years, since 2016. We have looked at that data. Now, low as that is, we have also found that the public taxpayers have lost 633 million shillings through inflated costs. Now, inflated costs, we determine it by way of looking at price, the market price that the Commission itself went out and surveyed, and then said this is how much this item costs, vis-a-vis the exact amount of award in the contracts. So the difference between those two is 633 million. Also, we believe that if disclosure was maybe at 50%, then maybe the money that was lost is much higher. We look at what has been disclosed. This financial year, only one contract worth 200 million has been disclosed. Now, the public, I'm sure, knows that, you know, out of the billions that the Commission has received, it's not only one contract that has been signed. Also, we see what they have disclosed. The nature of things that they have disclosed is the money they have spent on legal fees, vehicle maintenance and repair, and stationery. Now, why are they not disclosing other things? We see they got billions to procure, you know, technology for transmission of results. That contract has not been disclosed, among many others. So, yes, you know, the Auditor General will be saying, you know, this paper is there, this paper is not there, and things like that. But as citizens, we really go beyond that and look into issues of efficiency, issues of value for money, and value for citizens.
Well, also, we would like to pick your thoughts on the fact that we know more than 30% of Ugandans do not take part in elections. All these issues that you're pointing out from the Electoral Commission, do you think they're responsible for Ugandans failing to turn up for elections?
Yeah, elections are very important, you know, policy processes. It is, you know, the space through which people express themselves on how they want to be governed, as the Constitution has given them, you know, power. So, and, you know, working on the citizens, speaking to ordinary people on the streets, in the markets, you know, there are many issues that, you know, people would want to express themselves on through the vote. So then why won't they participate when it is time to participate? So one of these is lack of trust. When they don't trust the system, they don't trust that, you know, the way the elections have been organized, their voice is going to be heard, then they may consider it a waste of time. So that could be one of the issues. The other one is lack of awareness. People may not have information on the candidates, on the voting day, and the importance of actually voting. So that is also another factor now. The Commission needs to work with all stakeholders, including civil society, to conduct civic education. The Commission needs to reassure the public that it is committed to organizing elections transparently. I'm sure you have heard, Sandra, allegations or perceptions that the Commission works for some of the candidates. Now, when it is like that, then it is unlikely, for people to come out and kind of legitimize what they think is not a proper process.
All right. Thank you so much, Gilbert Sendugwa, who is the Executive Director of the Africa Freedom of Information Center, speaking to us about some of the issues that are coming forward from the Electoral Commission and what needs to be done. All stakeholders, like you said, need to work together to ensure that when voting day comes or when campaigns come, then people can have trust in the system. Yes. Thank you once again for joining us, and thank you as well for joining us on NTV Weekend Edition. We'll take a short break and we'll be back.